Hello, welcome to week 5 of the course. This week, your primary concern is the revision chapter and peer editing, and you have a grammar quiz. So let's start with the grammar quiz. It's 10 sentences. Each sentence either is correct or it needs the verb changed. And so you'll have two choices. So it's a multiple choice, but only two choices. One is to say that it's a correct sentence and it's perfect the way it is, or the second choice would be to change the verb to what that verb says in the answer. So let's say the sentence says is, but it should be are. So instead of choosing correct, you'll choose choice B in the multiple choice are. Hopefully that's simple enough. If you have any questions about it, once you've read the instructions on the quiz itself, before starting, send me an email. Don't start the quiz if you're unsure about what you're supposed to do for the quiz, because once you start, you have to finish it. You have 15 minutes to take it. So now the other big issue is your peer editing today. So I've made up discussion groups for you. So there's 4 people in all the groups except for the last one, which has 5 people. What you need to do is communicate with one another in that discussion forum. You can either do the peer editing there by posting, copy and pasting your papers into the forum, and then each person who's peer editing you will read the paper, answer the questions. There's a peer edit sheet of questions in the module this week. Answer those questions and send the answers. Either post them back in the discussion forum, or you guys can exchange email addresses and do that. You could also, if you'd like, you do not have to do the peer editing in the discussion forum. You can communicate with one another and establish a Google Docs. That would be perfectly fine and just work within the Google Docs. Or you could even do a Zoom meeting if you wanted to meet one-on-one. I do think for the next 2 essays, I hadn't thought about this because it's the first time I'm teaching this online. Next time, I think I will set up a Zoom meeting on a Saturday, like at 10 o'clock. Anyone that would want to come to that, we could peer edit the cause and effect paper and the narration paper then. But that will be optional. As I said, this was going to be an asynchronous class. So again, what you need to do is there's 6 groups in the discussion forum. So when you go into D2L up above, where the navigation tabs are, click on discussions. You'll find your last name in the discussion forum. You go into that forum. Decide if you're going to work within the forum with the other 3 people in the group, or if you want to work in Google Docs, or if you want to try to do a Zoom meeting. Whichever you do, you have to exchange your papers with the other people, so somehow you have to get that up online so they can read it. Or if you exchange email addresses, you could send it as attachments if you wish. Then each person has to read the other person's papers, so you'll have to read 3 people's papers, answer the questions that are on that peer edit question sheet, send those answers to the person or post them within the discussion forum. What I want you to do then when you get those answers is you need to copy and paste them into a page at the end of your paper. So let's say you got a 3-page paper, hit the return button until a 4th blank page comes up, paste the answers from one person in there and put the person's name on that. Hit the enter button until another blank page comes up. So what's going to happen is if you write a 3-page essay, there should be 3 additional pages then of people's answers from each of the people who peer edited. So you should end up with 6 pages in the paper altogether. 3 pages of the essay, and then 3 pages of peer editing answers. Make sure you put each person's name there so that they get credit for having done the peer edit. Now, if you're in a group and somebody doesn't show up at all, don't worry about it. Just work with who's there. As long as you're there and you peer edit other people's papers and you get your peer edited by them, you're fine. If you decide not to do any peer editing, you will lose a grade on the paper. You really need to have other people look at your paper, and you need to look at other people's papers. I think this makes for better writing. It also gets you better when you go on to other classes at being able to just revise your own paper and look at it and figure out what needs to be fixed. All right, if you have any questions, send me emails. I'm sure since this is the first time I've ever tried to do peer editing online, there'll be a lot of questions. I will answer them the best I can. If I have to upload another video, I will do another video. All right, okay. Uh, that's it. That's kind of a long video for this week, but that was a lot to do. Again, any questions, just send me an email. I do my best to get back to you as soon as I can.